Hi, I'm Helen, and today's video is to mark my 2 years living in Costa Rica. I can't believe it, it's gone so quickly. Today I will talk about 5 things that I've realized since living here, and I hope if you're contemplating either moving to Costa Rica, moving to another country, or embarking on a big life change, that these 5 things will help you. The first one is know your big why as to why you're here. It's a very romantic idea to move to Costa Rica. It's something that I dreamed of probably since about 2010, when I found a blog of a lady that moved from Montana to the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, and she opened up a B&B called the Hidden Jungle Beach House, and she would blog about all her adventures, and it just really captured my imagination. In hindsight, at the time, I was probably really miserable in my job, so I thought, wow, how amazing. She's having all these adventures. I want to do that when I retire from my job. So when I retired in 2022, 1 month later, I had sold 95% of my belongings. I packed up 5 suitcases, 2 carry-ons, and 2 dogs, and moved to Costa Rica. It was a pretty scary thing to do, although at the time I didn't really have any fear, but I look back now and think, I don't even know how I did it. For me, I knew that I did not want to live out my retirement in the UK, and the reason was mainly in relation to the climate. England is a beautiful place in the summertime, maybe 3 months of the year, but the rest of the time it's pretty dull and gloomy with rain, and even actually in the summer the weather is not guaranteed. And I believe I'm someone that experiences SAD, seasonal affective disorder, and it was pretty grim for me for probably from October, when the clocks went back, right through to March. I did not want to experience that year after year after year. So one of my big motivating factors for moving abroad was the climate. I was drawn to Costa Rica because of the nature. I love all the lush green jungle. I love all the animals here and the wildlife. So that was also a big thing for me. I love going to the beach every morning. I go there with my dogs. It's a 5-minute drive. It's a beautiful beach. I think back to how my mornings used to be when I commuted into London, when I was working in the police, and I'd be on the train and then crushed on the underground and getting jostled everywhere, and everyone looked so miserable. My life is so different now. So know what your reason why is as to why you want to achieve a certain goal, why you want to move to a certain location. Maybe the tropics aren't for you, but you want to retire to the south of France, or you want to move to Australia, or to Italy, Spain, Mexico. So really think about, if you do want to move abroad, or you do want to make a big life change, what is the reason why? My big why was I just wanted to live somewhere where there was sunshine, where it was a nice environment, something that I could tune into. Yeah, I like the city, but I love the countryside even more. So think about your why, and there's a really good exercise you can do. It's called the 5 Whys exercise, and I'll put a link underneath this video to a PDF you can download, which goes through the 5 whys, and it really gets to the root of why you want a particular goal in your life. It's so helpful, and I really recommend that you do it. The second thing that I would consider is know how you're going to fill your days. I retired from my job. 1 month later, I was on a plane. I probably spent the first 18 months decompressing from having quite intense career. I was a police officer. When you move abroad, you have to restart your life again, find somewhere to live, get a car, start to establish connections, a friend network. So all your focus is going on all these things. And then when that's all kind of in place, it's almost like, well, now what? Now what am I going to do? So some people do move abroad and they still work. Maybe they're digital nomads, or they've moved through their job. But in my situation, I actually retired. It was knowing how to fill my days, because yeah, you can go to the beach and I can go meet friends for lunch, but I felt that I needed a little more purpose. That's why I rejuvenated my YouTube channel and I started recording yoga videos again. Give me something to focus on, something that I enjoyed doing, something that would help people. And I'm slowly developing my online business because I've got the time to do it now. I've also started to write my novel. I did my creative writing degree back in 2014, and I never got around to writing anything because I was working full time and I just didn't have the energy or the focus. And now I have plenty of time. It's something that I can focus on. So know how you're going to fill your days, because you will have a lot of time to think about stuff, to think about things, whether it's a hobby or a job. Maybe you like voluntary work, helping with local organizations. It's really important to have something to occupy your time, because when you're not occupied and you may be feeling a bit isolated because you're abroad and you've left everything behind that is familiar to you, it can start to get in here. So really have an idea of how you're going to fill your days and what you're going to do in your new location, because that really will make or break how you feel about living there. The third thing I've realized living abroad is make your life as simple as possible. There's a language barrier for me. I'm learning Spanish, but I'm nowhere near fluent. That's a big issue, is not being able to speak the local lingo. And when you start to have issues with your house or with your car, yes, the Costa Ricans are really helpful in trying to understand you, but all these things become really magnified. So what I realize is just have as few things as possible that stuff can go wrong with, and then you will have less problems. The more stuff we have, the more problems we have in life. And living abroad where you're away from your usual support network, I've really noticed how important it is to just simplify your life as much as possible. The less you have, the less things that can go wrong. And for me, I moved here solo. I'm navigating all this by myself. So having as few things as possible to go wrong makes life a little bit easier and a little bit stress-free. I bought a house. I know many people here that have built, and they've had lots of problems, and I didn't want that for myself. I just wanted smooth sailing, to be as simple as possible, to be as stress-free as possible. You may come here and you might build, you might have a background in construction, so you know what you're doing. You might be able to speak Spanish and that'll be easier. You might have connections. So every situation is different. But for me personally, the easiest thing for me to do was buy a ready-made house. The fourth thing, and this is kind of ironic me saying this, but don't make major life decisions based on what strangers on the internet say. And this is really important. So before I came, I did a lot of research. I watched tons of YouTube videos. I joined all these expat Facebook groups. And what I come to realize is it gives you a good idea, but everything that you're seeing and reading is a very subjective view that somebody is projecting, and it's from their own lens. And I've also noticed that people want to reinforce their own life choices here, so they convince themselves that they actually made the right ones. So I would never say to somebody, you've got to live near the beach. I love going to the beach every morning. I love going in the ocean. I find it very healing. I would never say to someone, though, don't live in the Central Valley, because they're not me. So take everything that you read online or you see on YouTube with a pinch of salt, and really the only way to know is to come here yourself. Because I had the idea before I came that I was going to live in the mountains because it would be a lot cooler. However, I spent some time up in the mountains and I didn't enjoy it. I felt very isolated. I found it stressful driving. Now, I'm a trained police driver, so driving comes quite easy to me, but the roads are so different here to in Europe. I don't know if you live in a mountainous region in Europe, but certainly different from where I lived in the UK. And it was stressful every time I came out. The dogs hated all the windy roads. They hated the hills. When I came down nearer the coast, I've just found it much more appealing to me. But that's me. Come with an open mind. Don't have a fixed mindset about where you're going to live because you read it online. I read that it's unbearable to live near the beach. You are going to be paying $800 a month for aircon, for electric. So I had that idea in my head. And then when I came here, I found actually that that wasn't true. Come here and try it out, or wherever you want to move in the world. Don't take everything for granted what you read online. You are reading somebody else's subjective opinion, And they're often saying it to reinforce their own life choice. Another thing I've learned is to be very mindful of your friend choices. It's pretty different living abroad to when you live in your home country and you may have established networks, friends that you went to school with or you went to university with or that you worked with for years, and you all have this sort of common bond and you've known them over a long period of time and they know you inside and out. When you come here, most people move here either on their own or in a couple, so all the friends that you make are new friends and you end up kind of relying on your friends because you don't have any family nearby. But when you meet new people here, remember, you don't know them from the man in the moon. You do not know what their history is, what they got up to in their home country. So be very wary about what information you reveal to them about yourself. And what I've also learned is that not everybody is coming from a place of kindness. There are people here that will use and abuse you. They'll use you for your time and your energy, and on some occasions for money. I've been burned by a couple of people here who I considered friends, but it was not reciprocated. And because I was in the police for so long, I come from a place of service and helping people. It's really ingrained in me to help people because that's what I used to do in my job. So when I was here and I was meeting people and I was helping them out, it was just second nature to me. But after a while, I realized it was very one-sided. There was one person I thought I was quite good friends with. And I realized after a while, I was always being used to look after their dogs. When I go away, I always pay for a dog sitter. So I was doing this free for this person. And it wasn't a pleasurable experience for me. It's quite stressful looking after someone else's dogs. My own dogs didn't enjoy it. And one day I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. I never heard from this person again. It was very apparent that the only use they had for me in their life, it wasn't friendship, it was free dog care. So I've become very tuned in to how people are towards me. I've met a lot of narcissistic people here, very self-absorbed. I've removed myself from friendships with a few people because it's just not beneficial to me in any way to be friends with people like that. Come from a genuine place, so I would like people to be similar towards me and support me and be helpful to me. So I don't need to be around people that are take all the time. I've actually never met so many people like that until I moved here. I've met a lot of people like that. And I think as well it has to do with back home. Like I said, you have these long established friendships and here you don't. It starts on a very superficial level, very polite level, and then gradually over time you get to know the deeper layers of somebody. And all of a sudden the penny drops about what kind of friend they are to you. Think about the circumstances in which you meet them. Maybe if you're a surfer and you meet them surfing, you're already going to have that common bond. You've probably got similar values, but it's just something to be aware of. The final thing that I realized being here is that the only barrier to doing anything is me. When I was in the job, I would often complain and say, oh, I can't do that because I'm too stressed, I can't get time off, I don't have the annual leave. That's all gone. And now I'm here, there is nothing that can stop me apart from me. So especially the volume of time you have here when you're not occupied with a job, you can do a lot of self-reflection and you realize the only thing holding you back from anything really is yourself. It's very confronting, but it's also very healing and transformative. If you're open-minded and you're willing to self-develop and look at yourself and reflect what your outlook is on life, it can be a very transformative thing moving abroad. It's been the best experience I've had, probably the most challenging experience I've had as well. Sometimes I look back and think, I don't even know how I did this. I've had some pretty hair-raising moments. Especially while driving in the mountains. I remember when I first came here, I stayed in the mountains for a few days and I was driving down to Capos and I looked on the map, on Google Maps, and it said an hour and a half. And I looked on Waze and it said 2.5 hours. I thought, well, I'll take the Google Maps version. Well, this was the road from hell. There's no other way to describe it. I was in the middle of nowhere on this mountain, just endless roads that were unpaved. And at one point my brakes failed on my car and I was skidding downhill and I thought I'm going to end up in a valley and die and kill my dogs. My dogs were like crying in the back. Eventually my car stopped. I had to get out, get my feet on the ground, and I thought I can either burst out crying or I can suck it up and carry on and know that I'm going to be in civilization pretty soon. And that's exactly what I did. And it was funny, actually, on the radio, that Cher song came on, If I Could Turn Back Time. And I thought, if I could turn back time half an hour, I'd have gone the other way. Yeah, I've had some pretty hair-raising moments, but overall, it's been a brilliant experience. I love living here. Will I live here forever? I do not know. It has been very helpful to me. It's helped me decompress from a long career. I love going to the beach. I love having all the animals and the jungle. I've got some really nice friends here. I love going to the yoga studios. You know, they're pretty amazing. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you want to go for it, I would do it. Even knowing what I know now and about how challenging it's been, I still would do this again, because I would need to get it out of my system, because it was such a long-held dream for me. Most people come here and a lot don't last longer than a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. We're all individual, and do not judge your own experience from what someone else has done. Be you. Follow your own dreams, follow your own heart, follow your own experiences, and make decisions from those. So they were my 5 things that I realized since moving here. I will put a workbook underneath this video with the 5 whys exercise and some other things, that a checklist that you can go through if you're considering not just a move abroad, but a big life change. Even though it has been challenging, I would still do it all over again, because life is all about an adventure, and you'll never leave your comfort zone until you leave your comfort zone. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and maybe a follow. I'm very close to 1,000 subscribers, so I'd love it if you subscribe. In general, I do post fitness content. Every now and then I do a little vloggy type video. I thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you again soon.